The Shifter's Way. Elder's Miss was a town that was in perpetual fog. The streets were always awash with a very strange hue. The houses, for the most part, looked like they were part of some weird forgotten dream. There was a reason for this. The town was isolated. The atmosphere itself was, as I said, heavy with secrets. The town's most prominent feature was its sprawling mines, which belonged to the family of Arturias. The veins of silver that ran through those mines were the reason that Elder's Miss had thrived, despite its isolation in the mountains. But while these mines brought wealth, they also brought power struggles. Arturias was a man of strong moral fiber. He was in love with a very lovely young woman named Bianca. However, she was bound in an arranged marriage to Ishmael, even though she loved Arturias much more deeply than she ever loved her husband. She honored the vow she made. That was how these times were, and in the way she was. Arturias, she once told him, her eyes once brimming with tears, "My heart belongs to you, but I have to honor the promise that I made." And he respected this, and he said, "I love you from afar. If our souls don't entwine, it's just how I feel. I'll keep these things burning within me." But Ishmael, driven by jealousy and greed, devised a sinister plan. He murdered his own father, Arturias' mentor, and pinned the crime on him. The evidence was stacked against Arturias, who was imprisoned. Inside the dank cells, Arturias received letters, which are always signed a kindred spirit. He knew they were from Bianca. They spoke of hope, love, and a future. Kept him alive. It was in this prison that he met an old man named Malik. Malik taught Arturias the ways of the shifting ghosts. Something based in strange, very elder power. I cannot say if it was magic or something else more eldritch. But either way, it was old-world knowledge combined with unseen, unheard of, and forgotten forces. It allowed the practitioner to assume any identity. 10 years later, Arturias was released. He returned to the town, fueled by revenge, using the techniques that was taught to him by Malik. He impersonated Ishmael in the very situations that would draw suspicion and enmity towards the real individual. The town in this affair turned against Ishmael, justifiably. Frantic and betrayed, he tried to run. The labyrinthine ratways beneath the city became his prison. Deep in its belly, Arturias confronted him. "You took everything from me," Arturias said, his voice dripping with cold rage. Ishmael, by this time, who'd been nabbed and was chained to a wall trembling, spat back. "You're always a favored one. The mine should have been mine." Arturias looked into Ishmael's eyes, seeing not only the fear, but also the regret. "It was never about those damn mines, you fool. It's about honor, respect, hell, even love, maybe, I don't know. The things you damn sure didn't understand." Ishmael's voice trembled. He might have loved her. "She always fucking loved you. But guess what? You're not gonna have her. She's still bound to me by law." "That's where you're wrong. I don't have to have her to love her. That's the one thing you don't seem to understand. She doesn't need to be with me to love me. That's the difference between us. In the end, it doesn't matter. You know the ways of the old world as well as the new. No one finds you. She won't be bound to you, now will she?" And with this, he began to brick up the entrance to the ratway cell, sealing Ishmael inside, with each brick placed. The weight of Ishmael's deeds bore down upon him. The realization of his actions, the weight of his greed and pettiness, crushed him more than the bricks ever could. The final brick was set, Arturias whispered. He found the redemption in darkness, couldn't in the lights. So therefore, remember, my friends, you want to possess something or someone so much to the point where you're willing to destroy others for your own greed, as well as desperation and petty desires, if they drive you to do the things in which Ishmael has, now think on this. You might be weighted down under the burden of your own sin in more ways than one.